Hello dear students, welcome back. Today we will be talking about gerund and infinitives. Let's start with infinitive form. When we're talking about infinitives, it is actually to verb 1 or just verb 1 right after our main verb of the sentence. We have also talked about this one in B1 level, but we are going to do in more detailed way, and we're going to sort of review it. Okay, let's start with, we have a couple of memorize vocabulary, but also we have some rules. Let's start with the first rule, to express purpose. For example, I went supermarket to buy some groceries. In this one, as you can see, this is the main verb of our sentence, and you can see the infinitive form right here. This is called full infinitive, and only verb 1 is called bare infinitive. We have a full infinitive in this one. Or let's say, she studied Spanish to go to Spain. Again, you can see an aim, a purpose to making this action real. For example, my mother called me to tell me the news. You can see that, again, we have a full infinitive and we're expressing a purpose. Our second rule is after this structure. Let me give you an example. It is good to see you, for example. Again, you can see a full infinitive here. It is too hot to go out, for example. Or, it was really fun to have a party with you. You can see the examples here. After this certain structure, we use to verb 1, which is our full infinitive. Our next rule is after first, second, third, etc. For example, Neil Armstrong was the first man to land on the moon. As you can see, we have a number of first, and then we used full infinitive here. You were the second person to call me to celebrate. Also, in this example, you can see the infinitive form. We also use it after certain adjectives. For example, I am sorry to interrupt. Or, he was free to do anything. We were pleased to meet him. As you can see, after certain adjectives, we also use full infinitive, which is to verb 1. We also use infinitive right after to and enough. It is too hot to walk, for example. There are enough chairs for everyone to sit. You can see the infinitive here. Cinema is too far from here to walk, for example. You can see the infinitive use in these sentences. And we use infinitive form after some certain verbs. These are the ones that you should memorize. For example, afford, agree, appear, decide, forget. But this has an exception. We are going to get to that. Hope, learn, manage, need, offer, plan, promise, refuse, seem, tend, want, would like, and so on. Let's give examples to these certain verbs used with infinitives. For example, she can't afford to buy a new car. You can see the infinitive here. I only agreed to work from 9 to 5. She decided to have a vacation. We learned to speak English. Or he promised to be on time. We refused to eat cold meal. You can see the examples here. Then we have after question words. For example, I don't know what to do. You can see the infinitive form here. She knows how to sew. You can see the full infinitive form here. Or let's decide where to go for lunch. I know who to talk to about this. You can see the full infinitive form here. And then we have after certain nouns. For example, it was a great pleasure to meet you. What else do we have? For example, shock. We also have chance, ability, etc. It is a shock for me. It is a shock to see a celebrity in the streets. Like these examples. We said we use it after after certain nouns, and the last thing is after some, any, no, and their compounds. For example, I will prepare something to eat. I want to go somewhere to drink coffee. We also have, as I have said in the beginning, some bare infinitives. And now we're going to look at where we use bare infinitives, which is only verb 1. We don't add 2. We use it after modal verbs. Second thing is we use it after would rather, and the third is after let's and make. Let's start with the first one. After modal verbs, for example, I can run 50 miles. You can see the bare infinitive here. She has to wake up early. You can see the bare infinitive here. After would rather. For example, she would rather go alone. My mother didn't let me go out after 10 p.m. You can see the bare infinitive in these examples. Let's review infinitive and then we will continue with gerund. We said that we have two types of infinitives. First one is a full one, full infinitive, and this is bare infinitive form. Our first rule is to express purpose. For example, I went supermarket to buy some groceries. The reason I went supermarket was to buy some groceries. She studied Spanish to go to Spain. My mother called me to tell me the news. Then we talked about after its adjective structure. It is good to see you. You can see the adjective here and then full infinitive. It is too hot to go out. It was really fun to have a party with you. After first, second, third, 4 times, 5 times, Neil Armstrong, sorry, not 5 times, 4th, 5th, etc. Neil Armstrong was the first man to land on the moon. You can see the number here, and then we used full infinitive. You were the second person to call me to celebrate. Then we have talked about this rule that we use full infinitive after certain adjectives. I am sorry to interrupt. He was free to do anything. We were pleased to meet him. And also, we use these full infinitives right after to and enough. It is too hot to walk outside, for example. There are enough chairs for everyone to sit. Cinema is too far from here to walk. Then these are the verbs that don't have a rule and you should memorize. Afford, agree, appear, decide, forget, hope, learn, manage, need, offer, plan, promise, refuse, seem, tend, want, and would like. She can't afford to buy a new car. I only agreed to work from 9 to 5. She decided to have a vacation. We learned to speak English. He promised to be on time. We refused to eat cold meal. Then we talked about this rule. After question words, I don't know what to do. She knows how to sew. Let's decide where to go for lunch. I know who to talk to about this. And also we use it after certain nouns. For example, shock, chance, ability. It was a great pleasure to meet you. It's a shock to see a celebrity in the streets. After some, any, no, and their compounds, I will prepare something to eat. I want to go somewhere to drink coffee. Then we talked about bare infinitive. We use it after modal verbs. I can run 50 miles. She has to wake up early. After would rather, you can see go alone. After let or make. Now we have gerund, which is verb ing. Let's talk about gerunds. For example, we use it as a noun. Exercising, our first rule, exercising is good for your health. Or eating too much junk food is harmful. You can see the noun form. I can say, I love swimming. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the subject position. It can also be as an object as long as it's a noun. And then we have some certain verbs that we use with gerund. For example, avoid, enjoy, finish, like, love, hate, imagine, keep, risk, spend, suggest, and consider. Let's give examples with these verbs. Avoid consuming sugar, for example. You shouldn't risk refusing the proposal we spent all day shopping she considered being a flight attendant they love having barbecues and etc. Then we have a couple of more rules. After verb go, but in an activity meaning. For example, let's go fishing. She went swimming yesterday. I would like to go scuba diving this summer. We also have some expressions for example, be interested in, can't stand, don't mind, how about, it's no use, it's no good, it's worth, there's no point in, be used to, and etc. Let's give an example. She is interested in listening classical music. I can't stand lying. Do you mind closing the door? Or there's no point in blaming yourself. And our last rule is after prepositions. For example, she left without saying goodbye. You can see the preposition here, and we have a gerund in this one. She insisted on staying there. Okay guys, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you understood and enjoyed our lesson. Hope to see you on our next lesson. Take care of yourselves.